Episode 6 of Brad Pitt Lean or Die Trying. So, a little modification of plans. After my gym session today, I can't believe how bad that session was. And I think I've just been pushing a bit too hard, a bit too extreme. I thought, 20K steps, no matter what, keep it going till the fat's gone. But holy, right now I'm 6 days in a row of doing 20K steps. And again, I'm only eating like 1,500 calories. That really fucked my gym performance. And I'm pretty aware that I think I just pushed a bit too hard. I went too hard. I'm fatiguing my body way too much. It's too much distance for such little calories that I'm eating. Now, I'm just gonna go back down to 15K steps until I'm done this cut, until that fat is completely gone. As you can tell with this series, I'm a very extreme person. I like just pushing my boundaries, seeing how hard I can go, and now I know how hard is acceptable. Those keeping my promise to myself, I wanted to do 20K steps for 7 straight days, just to really push my mind and my body, which I've been really happy about. I've been really happy with how hard and how much I've changed mentally because of that, especially because I'm eating so little. Today's my birthday, so it's a good way to finish it off, the 20K steps. And now I know that is my limit. And I do think it's sometimes good to just test your limits like this on one extreme or the other, especially if you're like me. I'm this type of personality, like, all right, that was a bit too far, let's chill, come back. And the thing too is, because I started kind of freaking out a bit, like, oh my god, like my strength just took a big hit. And it's just because I'm fatigued. I don't even think it's strength. It's just because it's mostly because I have no glycogen and such little energy. Like my strength will come back up. So yeah, that's just, and I don't want to injure myself. If I'm already fatigued and I'm still pushing hard at the gym, I don't want to risk an injury. But yeah, okay, here's gonna be proof right here that I did 7 days of 20K, and now I'm just gonna do 15K daily, 12 to 15K, and just stick to my calories. Today, when I got back home, I just ate my maintenance just because I felt so overwhelmed and so irritable. And I'm like, I don't want to binge. I'm not going to order fucking, Costco pizzas, Domino's, just binge on garbage food. I just ate up to my maintenance calories. A bit more fruit, some more chicken, eggs, I didn't go bad on food. I'm still finishing up my 20K steps. That's like 800 calories. So I'm still in a deficit. It's just, okay, it's more so just mental, just chill. If this happens to you, don't quit. Don't just, calm down. Just maybe eat a bit more, eat up to maintenance, and then just handle tomorrow. Just same plan as usual. I'm just going to lower my steps. Just keep this mission going. Finally done my 20K steps. And I'm just going to I wanted to share some lessons that just kind of came through my head. One is I'm really proud of myself, or at least just still in my head, I was determined to get 7 days in a row doing 20K steps. And I don't really think it's that bad if you're eating enough, but I was eating like 1,500 calories and still finding the time to do it. And it really showed how much I'm capable of when I really determined. And I did this in terrible weather. You saw the last episode, the weather was just terrible the whole time. And I was just thinking, this type of moment and these type of challenges are really good too, because when I first started this deficit, like 12K steps seemed like a lot, but after doing 20K for 7 days in a row and just being in constant pain and just being so hard, like that was so challenging. It's like top 5 things, most challenging physical things I've done so far. 12K isn't really much anymore. The way I think about it is, like, if you run a marathon, or I've ran like up to 52 kilometers in one go, 5K, 10K, it's not really much. And it just kind of goes to show, once you really accomplish and go for like the really hard things and just have that experience, the stuff you used to think was hard isn't that bad anymore. Like when I was younger and I was trying to lose weight, 5K seemed like a lot of distance, and then 10K seemed like a lot of distance. But after I did 52, 5, 10, it's really not much. Even though I'm not even good at running right now, I can still crank it out really easily because I'm not putting those self-limiting beliefs anymore. It's just like these goals and these aspirations you aspire for, they might seem big at first, but once you go for like the really hard thing, like go to the extreme, they don't seem so hard anymore. It's just kind of, you have to break these beliefs. And that's what I'm doing with losing this weight. It's like I'm breaking these beliefs because I feel once I finally lose these love handles, not the love handles, but just that lower back like you saw in the last episode, it's just going to show me how much more I'm capable of, and just keep making me go for more and more. Like you've heard me talk about, I'm just a very extreme person. Like I just have that personality. I want to push myself. I want to see what I'm capable of. And now I do. And now I know, at least I have that dog in me. Like I could do another week of 20K, but it's not optimal. Like I think I will lose so much muscle and strength that I might even get sick. Like at the gym, like seriously, that was such a wake-up call. Like I felt so bad. I was really worried there. So I'm just gonna lower my steps to 12 to 15. Just continue my deficit, just ride it out. But honestly, again, I don't really see this as an L, like that I'm changing my mind about this, because now that isn't so hard. Because at first it was hard to stick to 12 to 15, but now it doesn't seem so bad, considering I did 20 for 7 days in a row in that weather, and I was so miserable, and I was doing it alone, and I was pushing myself. And I just keep thinking like why I'm doing this, and I think about like the younger version of myself and what he needed to see and what he needed to hear. He needed to hear someone like me, and I'm just trying to push hard for other people that were in that position that I was, just helpless, hopeless about their weight, about their mind. If you're like me, you only really listen to someone that's been through it, that they've been in that bottom. They know what it feels like, and they were able to get out of it. You kind of listen to them more, and I want to be that person. I already feel like I am, but I gotta go harder. I really feel I need to really step it up. I got my 20K goal. I did a bit of a refeed again, just like up to maintenance. I think it's just a little over, but just with whole foods. It's not like I binged on pizza and cupcakes like I would have in the past. So I'm very replenished now, and just let's go. My birthday was today. This is the year I step it up and I serve others. I serve my family, I inspire my family, I inspire the people around me, and I meet people and maybe inspire them as well. I've always felt weird about being an outsider, and I struggled with that for a long time, being misunderstood, kind of being on my alone, but I do feel like it was all sort of leading up to this and stepping up for other people that have been where I am. All those years has led me to this. I really believe in that. It really feels like, and I'm just gonna like fulfill that intuition that I have. It feels to my core I have to do this. Like everything's been leading up to this moment. So, and I'm just gonna fulfill that and see it through. I just did about 2 kilometers walking with 150 pounds. Here's the fucking proof I am not lying about this. I'm wearing a 60-pound vest, 60 pounds inside my backpack, and I'm carrying 15-pound dumbbells on each hand. And I'm not even gonna front, like I keep stopping every 100 meters. This is the heaviest I've ever rucked, walking with weight. I've never done this heavy, and I haven't done it since like January. There's a video on my channel if you're curious, like I recorded it. I've never gone this heavy, and I weigh like I'm in the 150s. I'm carrying my whole body weight, and I'm doing this alone too. And the only reason I'm doing this is I've just been getting super in my head about the past, and like honestly, with the weather changing, and now that it's sunny, it's not winter anymore, it really disorients me. But the thing too is whenever it gets warmer here, I grew up usually pretty isolated, alone. A lot of kids always made plans, and it always felt like I was the only one not doing anything. And because that happened for so many years, I've associated the feeling of warmth, like the weather anyways, with that feeling, like with those emotions of being alone, isolated, and just feeling like a loser, just really feeling poorly about myself. And it's only been until the last year I've really pushed that, really challenging myself physically, because like as I've said, that's where I really grow, that's where I really expose who I am and what I'm capable of. Like doing this, I wanted to quit in the first 100 meters of starting this. Like this was brutal, especially because I'm cutting, right? And I haven't done this in a very long time. I already worked out. It just sucks, man. But I felt like this was necessary to throw in, just to remind me what I'm capable of and how far I've come since losing all that weight, since where I used to be and how I used to think about myself and view myself. This is heavy, man. It just pisses me off too, because this isn't like a proper gear. This is just like my backpack that I have, which is weight on, and it's like super uncomfortable. But it's like, I have power in myself, and I feel like I got my answers, so I'm not dwelling on the past, dwelling on the my anxieties, like about my goals, what I want to achieve. And again, like I said, it's also the weather, the changing weather that kind of disorients me. 2 kilometers with 150, like it's all my body weight. It's my whole body weight. So just so you know that I'm not BSing here, and I actually like put a good amount of effort in. Like, I don't know if you can see, the sweater is just completely drenched. As you can see, I am not lying. Okay, I'm going to be revealing something very honest that I haven't really talked about with people. I haven't really shared with many others, except really only one person. I grew up in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Moved to Calgary, which is a 3-hour drive, for film production. I worked in the film production world. I studied film, everything like that. I did that when I was 19 and pretty much lived in Calgary until I was 25. But once I broke up with my ex and how bad I got mentally, physically, I realized how much trauma, I realized how much baggage, how much messed up my mind was. There were a lot of moments during that time I just did not handle well. I didn't handle like a normal person would. And after we broke up, it made me realize I need to take care of this. I don't know how to do it. I need to completely face this. I need to face my traumas. I need to face everything. Me growing up here in Edmonton, I experienced a lot of racism, a lot of bullying from other kids, just people around me. I was very isolated, made me become very depressed, very socially anxious, very introverted. And at the same time, I had a really bad relationship with my family. I basically had no one to look for guidance, for help. I didn't have a role model. I was very terrified of my parents. So I couldn't look to them for guidance. I couldn't look to them for safety. Again, I didn't realize it until after that breakup, but it really, all those years laid such a deep impact into my subconscious and developed trauma. I developed CPTSD. If you really want to learn about figuring out your traumas and everything, search up this book, CPTSD, From Surviving to Thriving. I can't recommend it enough. It really opened up my eyes to how my past affected me. I graduated high school. I had no one. I didn't talk to anybody. I had no one to talk to. And I was desperate to leave here. I didn't know what that would mean. I was just so desperate. I had very big issues with suicidal ideation, with just ending my life. I felt hopeless. I felt desperate. My parents could not help me. I was very, very desperate. When I saw the thing, like, I like film, I like being creative, I took it. Due to the experiences I had when I was younger and how I felt about myself, it just carried over to Calgary as well. I still had really low self-confidence, super introverted, no confidence, couldn't stand up for myself, couldn't speak up. Anytime I would get ahead, it was delusional. It was fake self-belief. But again, when it comes to something fake, I think it's a good start. But if you genuinely don't have any genuine self-belief or self-trust, once that real challenge comes, you're going to crumble. You're going to fail. Then when I did meet my ex, she thought I was a certain person because of the way I presented myself. But once we started living together, she saw the other side. I was very deeply troubled. I was very I had a lot of trauma. I had a lot of issues. There was a strike that happened during that time, and I struggled finding work in film, and it really affected me mentally. I felt like I was failing myself. I just turned into eating myself alive, like just self-destructing completely. By the end, yeah, physically got in the worst shape of my life, mentally. And after that breakup, I promised myself I could never get that bad, and I was going to do everything in my power to completely transform my identity, to completely transform the way I thought, the way I acted, by any means necessary. If I had to do the complete opposite of what I've always been doing, so be it. I have to do it. So after that year in 2024, I stayed in Calgary. I continued working in film. And once I had a place, I felt so empty. It was like a couple months after that breakup, and I still felt like I thought I pushed myself and things happened, but I still feel so empty. Like, I don't know what's going on, and it's because I hadn't changed. And I was still dealing with the same issues internally that I had, especially, the issues that growing up in Edmonton caused me. And I came to a decision before renewing my lease. I said, Axel, I could stay here for another year and ignore the real issue and ignore the real demons and problems that I have in my head, or I could go face them. And obviously it's scary because I had to do it alone. No one came back here to Edmonton. And facing all this, I knew how I would feel. I knew how I am with my family. I know how I am here. And it was pretty troubling. You won't become a different person, or you won't change your circumstances if you keep doing the same thing. You will just end up where you are right now, like you'll still be the same person, you'll still have the same life. And I knew I needed to face my demons and my traumas and my things here in Edmonton. I had to have uncomfortable conversations with my parents about the past, about their decisions, about how their actions affected me, especially as a kid. And just also being really open with them, like, stuff that happened when I really needed help. How come you guys weren't able to help me? And over the year, I was able to understand them much better. And, it's not perfect, but I've come to a better understanding of them and their decisions, and also just myself. I haven't talked about this in my content, especially on Instagram or on my YouTube, because it feels really weird saying I moved back in with my parents, especially when I spent so many years in film. Like, that was such a big part of my identity. When I came back to Edmonton, I have no friends here, man. I had to force myself to go to these run clubs and everything, make friends, be social. Also, just make new experiences. A lot of my experiences here in Edmonton were really negative. Because of that, anytime I was here, I'd always feel anxious because my nervous system remembered that, and it would put me in like a survival mode. I could never go outside. I was always scared of people. I was always just so tight and just frozen here. So I forced myself new experiences. I ran 52 kilometers here. I go outside all the time, new social experiences, and just really uncomfortable conversations with my parents. This is the first time I actually feel calm in where I grew up, in the city I grew up in, which is kind of wild. I can't stress how bad my mind was, like how bad this place affected me. I knew I had to come back here and face these demons. That's so corny, but just face these issues, man. I couldn't keep running away because it kept causing me problems. Weird to say, like, oh yeah, I was in film and I decided to come back here to face my issues. Like, no one does that. And the reason people don't do that is because it's uncomfortable. It's scary. People don't like making a change that's uncomfortable. People don't realize a lot of the stuff that happens in your past just carries over into your adulthood. And maybe if people are aware of it, they'll never do anything about it. They just suppressed it. People say just push it away, just move forward, just turn it off. But then I've seen what happens, and not just even with my parents, but a lot of other adults around me, a lot of other people my age. I've seen what it does, and I just didn't want to keep doing that myself. Especially for the type of family that I want to eventually raise, the type of goals I want to raise, the type of people I want to help. I knew this was necessary in order to step it up, but to also create the life that I want. I don't want to make the same mistakes that my parents did to my own kids, or even in the past with like future relationships. I don't want to do the same thing, the same cycles that I did because I suppressed my past. I haven't suppressed it. I've been facing it alone. And that's really hard. Again, as you kept up with this years, a lot of this is identity based. I'm not some fucking fitness coach of like, I did this workout, and that's what you basically have to do. You just have to be consistent with the same actions. Cardio, eat less, train heavy, train hard. That's it. That's how you get Brad Pitt lean. Boom, done. But the biggest thing with health especially is your identity. You have to change your identity. And I'm showing the process of mine and just being open. I don't talk about my decision to move back in with my parents and go back to the city that caused me a lot of pain, because I felt really embarrassed. I felt really ashamed. And I've only talked about this with one person, my best friend. And he understands because I've been really good friends with him for like 7 years. He's heard everything, right? That's been like a big secret, not a big secret, but just a big thing I've struggled to admit on, online as a coach, or where I am in my life currently. I've moved back in with my parents. I didn't have to. I moved back in, and especially to the city, I suffered a lot of depression, bullying. I had a lot of issues with to just overcome it, man, because I didn't want to keep repeating the same cycles that I did in my past, especially with that relationship. I can't stress how bad I failed at and failed myself, but then also just years before then. And now this is the most alignment and fulfillment I have pursuing, just helping people with their health, their identity. It feels like I've said, everything's been leading up to this. I've learned a lot of trial and error for me to help, because I don't want someone to be where I was, getting out of that process alone, because it sucks. And I somehow was able to, and it feels like it's my duty to do it. All right, I'm gonna keep it honest. Straight up, I binged for 2 days in a row. Currently walking 50,000 steps today, just to kind of help recalibrate myself. And I wanted to share something real quick. The reason I binged so hard was because the other day at work, I just suddenly got super in my head, super self-destructive, just like old episodes I used to have when I was pretty bad physically, mentally. It's almost felt like this storm. I can feel it coming in terms of like self-destruction, where I'll start binging, I'll start ruminating, I'll start dwelling, I'll just start kind of destroying myself. It's basically what happened when I was with my ex. Not because of her, just because of what was happening. I would compare it to like this storm that was just hanging over me and I had no escape. It was overwhelming. It was just debilitating and I could never get out of it. I always struggled with that for a very long time where I just get super in my head and it's like this inner critic, this inner voice, which again connects to CPTSD, which I'm like pretty confident I have. And it's just over time, especially the last like year, 2 years, I've just better managed it and lowered the severity of it, especially with an episode like that or in a moment like that. But it's like this inner critic is just attacking. In the past, when I didn't know how to deal with it or I couldn't recognize it and I couldn't label it, I would attack myself, I would binge, and I would just isolate and I would just attack my head and just feel worse. I'd feel terrible. Now, in situations like that, I've just come to accept that I can't be doing traditional methods of getting better, of getting out of it. A lot of that, the traditional stuff is, just speaking about it or just writing it down or, just go back to how you were, like your routine. But no, when I binge really hard or when I really attack myself really hard where it gets super debilitating and chronic, I have to like challenge myself physically like to an extreme level. That's why I'm doing this 50,000 steps. Here's proof. I think I'm like halfway, but yeah, it's just to kind of snap out of it. I progress better and I get better mentally and physically when I sometimes have to push myself really hard physically. It's not for everybody. It's just what's really worked for me. I've found it's a lot of time to myself as well. And I understand myself better and what I'm thinking, why I'm thinking what I'm thinking. Because there's one thing of just telling yourself, I'm a goat, I'm a killer, I'm a this. But if you're not, like for me, if I'm not actually doing it, I'm never going to believe it. It's never going to stick with me. So I kind of have to do stuff like this. Again, it's helped me when I did, 52 kilometers, when I've done 1,000 pull-ups, when I've ran marathons, when I push myself in other ways, when I've lost the weight. And I kind of have to throw this in because, dude, I'm not going to fail this challenge of Brad Pitt lean, man. Like, I know if I let the storm come and if I let the storm just hover over me, I'm going to just gain all the weight back and I'm just going to like give up. It's going to happen. It happened before. I know the pattern. And so why would I do that? Doing a daily like movement, like 12, 15,000 steps, exercising, lifting, it's really good just to keep it in check, to keep your mind in check. But sometimes this is necessary where you have to go really hard, And I want to show like, hey, it's okay. If it's needed, right? There's nothing wrong with it. It's helped me quite a bit. It's going to help me once I finish this. The other methods, I've tried them and I failed them. They never stuck. They never, just stuck in my head, in my system. Like, this is what's needed. And I think there's other people like me with my personality type, with my experiences. I know I'll snap out of this. I just wanted to be honest and just talk about this, show another method when it comes to healing, when it comes to getting better physically, mentally. Because again, Brad Pitt lean, all you have to do, be consistent, eat less, training heavy. That's it. That's all, right? Also, free advice. I've come to now learn through this challenge, carb cycling is the best thing you can do when it comes to a cut. Carb cycling, basically your calories will change and your carb intake will change based on your lifting demands and the days you lift. The way it works, you're still in a deficit because your average weekly caloric deficit stays the same. Like, you're still in a deficit of about your average about, like, let's say 800, 1,000 calories. It's the same if you're averaging 12 to 15,000 steps for the month. It's not like the whole time you were walking 12,000 steps every time. Maybe sometimes you did 15 and then 11 and then 13 and then 12, like, right? But then the average comes out to 12. It's the same with carb cycling. If your caloric deficit averages to a certain amount, but what you're doing throughout the week is you're increasing your carbs. And the way to do that is you either decrease your protein a little bit. Your protein intake is the most important thing, but you're decreasing your fats just to like the bare minimum of what you need so your hormones stay healthy. So I've been doing that recently and I've been like, it's way better. Like I went way too hard with the whole 20,000 steps. It like kind of really crushed me, but I should have been doing carb cycling from the very beginning. But you learn. I did 20,000 steps in a whole week. That's pretty awesome. My old self could never have done that, especially with that little low calories. But it's good to know. Trial and error. It is what it is. Just keep going. I know I'm going to get this challenge. I just have to keep powering through and continue refining and improving my system of, when I do have bad days, hey, embrace my method, embrace my system, refine it if needed. And again, I've also just come to embrace, like, I don't think I'll ever get rid of my binge issue. I won't ever fully get rid of my mental stuff that happens every now and then. It's more so just lessening the impact, lessening the severity, lessening the episodes or how chronic or consistent, compared to the past. don't get any self-respect, or I don't get any pride in myself if, you know, someone tells me to do something. Like, for example, with work, people have a lot of pride with their accomplishments, with their work, which is totally fair, totally fine. But I've never really attached to that idea. I don't attach to that idea because someone told me to do that. Someone told me to show up. Like in film, you know, I think I was waking up at like something like 3, 4 a.m. I was working in like brutal conditions, but I don't really get any pride from that because I was being forced to, you know, it was just for money. Like you're being paid money. It's like I was doing that on my own accord. But ever since I've been doing these challenges, I'm doing this voluntarily. I'm doing this alone, right? With the 50,000 steps, like no one's coming with me, no one's cheering me on. And this is where I get a lot of self-pride, where I get a lot of healing from. This is where I get a lot of self-accomplishment from. It's one thing when someone tells you to do the thing, but when you're doing it on your own time and time again, or especially a one-time thing, maybe like this, like 50,000 steps, or if you ran a marathon, if you did that, especially, you know, there's no one cheering you on or anything, I find way more healing from that. I find a lot more power and pride from that. So I'm at like 37,000, but I just had a thought come to my head, which is like, because I really wish someone told me how important it is. Problems, addictions, bad habits grow in how much it affects you and how bad it can get based on how much of a secret it is, right? I wish if I was more open to the people close to me, my family, friends, or in relationships, if I was more open about the issues I was dealing with, I would have gotten help much more efficiently and much faster. But it also would have desensitized me and taken away how big the problem was in my mind. Like the problems I had, the bad habits I had, the addictions, everything. It was like this big thing, and like it was really scary to admit to people close to me that I was struggling with it. But in reality now it's like I can just kind of talk about it. It is what it is. And not even with bad habits, but even maybe insecurities. I remember I had a big issue with my skin. I had like a really bad acne issue, and I had a really tough time admitting it to people. And I think because I held it in for so long, it just became really bad, and it just kind of crippled me. In reality, if I just faced it and was more accepting of it and had help during that process much earlier, I would have dealt with it much earlier, right? Where you have to start in order to get to a level like that is just come to face with your own problems, acknowledge them, face them, talk about it with the people close to you, and then you kind of slowly become invincible. That's what I've kind of been realizing with being really open with this content stuff. It's just kind of grown into my personal life. I kind of feel more fearless and just more like detached from fears and anxieties that kind of plagued me and crippled me for a very long time. So as I was doing my walk today, these two crows attacked me out of nowhere. I was making a voice note at the time, and I'm just gonna play it out for you right now. You good, bro? Or you want food? Oh, what the fuck? Yeah, I'm good, bro. What the fuck, bro? Bro, what the fuck? What the fuck, bro? What the fuck? I'm walking back. These crows are still there. There's the same two are there. One is right there. The other one is right there. You see them both? Right now, I have a stick kind of ready to go just in case shit goes down. Someone just passed on their bike and they didn't do anything. So I'm just gonna pretend I'm just a runner, and in case shit goes south, we ended up being okay. They didn't seem to attack me at all. Just pretended like nothing was wrong and everything was normal. I realized that the thing, in order to get to this goal of Brad Pitt lean, it doesn't matter the routine, the diet, whatever. It's just conquering my mind. I have to finally just take control of my mind so I can actually see this challenge, so I don't keep quitting when things get hard or when something happens. And I realized that the big problem that I keep facing is I'm just not at peace with my life situation. I keep feeling like I'm hiding stuff from you guys, from my content. And I feel like it's important to just own it. Just come to peace with it. Just say what it is, like say what my current situation is. because I'll be honest, I feel kind of insecure talking about it. I feel a big insecurity, but I know when I help people and when the people that I want to coach and help them lose weight and help them rebuild their identity, they need to see that I do what I'm talking about. I preach what I'm talking about. And I need them to be honest with me. And so I'm just going to be completely honest now. So I'm going to list out in no particular order all my insecurities in this current situation in 2026, May 2026. Just list it all out, just say it all out, own it, and just it is what it is and move forward. When I get to meet people, it feels like I'm just hiding. It feels like I'm not really saying where I'm at because I just feel a lot of shame and guilt and embarrassment. Okay, here we go. All the insecurities. Number one, obviously, I feel insecure that I moved back in with my parents and I moved back to the city. I left film. I left my life in Calgary, and I moved to Edmonton to face my traumas, to finally just conquer the relationship that I have here in Edmonton. And again, to reiterate with that, imagine there's a place that you go to that you always have a bad feeling about because you had a bad experience, like a place, a location, a school, a house, whatever. My thing was this whole city. Anywhere I went, my nervous system would just fail me. I just, crumble every time. I felt insecure telling people that, like, that's the real reason I moved back to Edmonton. Obviously, if the film production world wasn't serving me anymore, but the real reason is, like, the stuff that happened here in Edmonton, the stuff that happened with my family, it failed me in that relationship that I was in, ballooning up to a lot of weight, destroying my physical health, destroying that relationship, destroying and failing myself. Next insecurity is that I currently work at a bakery. It's nothing special. It's like kind of like an assembly line. And I just feel a lot of shame and guilt talking about it, especially with others, because I'm 26, and it feels like everyone around me already has their career, already has their path, and I'm just rebuilding myself, like, completely. I've been rebuilding my identity. I've been rebuilding my health, my goals. I've never thought about doing a business, about helping people, about stepping up to be in a leadership position. And I've just been doing this year, like, really stepping into it. My other insecurity is that I struggle with my mental health issues still to this day. And for things that I feel like no one else really struggles with, like I told you, with these like CPTSD attacks, or these inner critic attacks that are so loud and unbearable, where it just makes me want to quit everything, makes me want to binge, where it just feels so loud that, like, seriously, my biggest op is myself. My other insecurity is that I watched adult entertainment at like 12 years old, and I struggled with that addiction for a very long time, up until I was like 22. And ever since then, I've managed it, where I've gotten periods where I don't watch it, I don't consume it at all. But there's still been times, especially this year, where I've really struggled in moments that I go back to struggling with that. And I feel a lot of embarrassment, especially at 26. I feel like all that type of content is really poisonous, and I really hate that I watched it when I was a kid and that other men have watched it as a kid. I think it's really dangerous, and I do think it should be illegal. Another insecurity are my wrists. I feel like I have really small, girly little girl wrists, where it actually shows how much mass I can hold in my frame overall at a leaner body mass. Because I don't really see many guys with such like little puny wrists. My other insecurity or fear is that I don't see this goal through of getting this lean, or my coaching goals of starting my business and like getting momentum and helping people online. Like, yeah, I really do want to help people, but I also completely transparent, I want to make an income from it, because I feel like that'd be really fulfilling work. Again, I worked in film for years, and I sacrificed so much. I sacrificed like my health, my mental health. I was working like 14, 15, 16 hours. These production companies were completely taking advantage of me, of my coworkers. It seems like everyone was ignoring that reality and just coping it. Like, oh, well, the money's good. Yeah, but like, I feel like we're really wasting ourselves. Like, we're really sacrificing so much. My other insecurity is I don't have many friends. All my life, I've always struggled making friends with other people. I am the person that, in the personality type that only sticks with relationships, like friendships or whatever, when there's a deeper connection. And when it's something super surface level and it never really goes any further than that, I just leave it. And it's always been like that my whole life. I've always struggled just having like, casual friendships. It's always felt like a character defect in a way. Seems like everyone else has been able to just keep these casual friendships and whatever, but I want real friendship. I've always thrived, and I find it more fulfilling and more important to me, but those are rare to come by. Like, my longest friendship is about 7 years long, my best friend, and I feel like that's a 1 in a million thing. I've had friends and been in friendships, they come and go, and the reason they come and go is just because I just don't find it fulfilling. So yeah, that's another insecurity that I've always struggled making friendships. And I still do to this day. My other insecurity is this binge eating problem. I don't see too many men, like especially real binge eating, like 5 to 10,000 calories, where you're eating past the point of being full, where you're just eating for the sake of eating. I haven't met two other men to talk about that and how big of an issue that is. And obviously, it comes from my experiences at childhood where I escaped my emotions through food, and it just kind of created like a neurological pathway where I still deal with it as an adult. But those are all my insecurities. I just wanted to finally just take ownership of it, just say it to you where I'm at in my life currently. I really want to see this content thing through, my coaching goals, my business goals through, just growing into the version of myself that I've always envisioned. Brad Pitt lean, super knowledgeable with fitness, nutrition, which I am, and that I've grown so much in my information and my knowledge through what I research and just my own trial and errors. But again, I have to take ownership of where I am. I feel anytime here, like when I've met people and we get to talking, it feels like I just kind of brush it off, like I just push off the topic. I'm never fully transparent. They ask, oh, where, just how are you, whatever, and they'll tell me, and I just feel like I'm hiding so much, and I feel like such a fraud, and I feel like I'm being super inauthentic. And I'm just tired of that. I think it's just getting to my head, because the big realization is, if I can't own it, if I can't come to peace with it, with my flaws, my insecurities, with myself, it's just gonna make this big cloud into how I think other people are perceiving me. Again, just like the big insecurity, just stuff with like just moving back in with my parents to face my traumas, deal with this stuff in Edmonton that I feel like so weird about, like such a freak that I'm doing it. Just feel like such an outsider, feel really insecure about doing it. And also just like with the job I work, it's just a minimum wage job. It's at a bakery. And where I've kind of come to terms with it, it's like a pretty decent job. Like I'm very busy, keeps me very busy. And I kind of feel like Peter Parker in Spider-Man 2. I love Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man's my favorite superhero because I bike there. And I have like the same red helmet that he wears. Kind of like I have a visualization like, oh, an underdog story or whatever. Yeah, it's like I just feel insecure because it seems like everybody I meet that's around my age is already in their career. Where I was as well. I was in film like for many years, and I was living on my own. I lived with again, my ex. I lived with roommates. I lived on my own. I lived such different lifetimes that it's gone to this point where I have to see this thing through with coaching, business, content, myself, just owning my mind, owning my body. Where else am I supposed to take my life? I know it's not another job like in film or anything else. This is what I want to do. This is where I find a lot of fulfillment and where my spirit, my soul is calling me to. Like I'm 26. I moved back in with my parents to just finally face and take ownership of my mind. It's not even the body thing. It's like just fucking take control of this thing, bro. And I feel just taking ownership, just owning it right now is a good step in the right direction. I know I need to be just acting like how I want to, how I envision myself. Doing this is part of the process. Tomorrow I'm going to do a weigh-in, see where I'm at, and go from there. Okay, just weighed myself at 155 pounds or 70 kilo. Like I said before, I binged like 3 to 4 times in the span of like a week and a half. And that just like messed me up. Like I'm gonna have another weigh-in at the end of the week to see, just keep going like, okay, I'm back on track. I'm 155 pounds. I was lighter. I was like 151 like 2 weeks ago. But yeah, those binges, my mental just really got the hold of me. But I'm not looking too bad right now. Again, I still hold so much fat on my midsection. I've been upgrading my split, not upgrading, updating my split, my training split. So I'm putting way more emphasis on my arms. This is first thing in the morning, just after a shower. No pump, just right in the morning. So I'm not like frauding or anything. But it's kind of cool. Like I've been able to see my abs so consistently for like over a month. Like that's awesome. Like my older, when I was losing weight, when I was overweight, just wanted to see abs, and now it's like, yeah, it's pretty consistent. But I just have to get leaner to make them pop better. And yeah, just like since I've been updating my diet, like where I carb cycle, and just really making sure I hone in on my sleep. My goal is 149 pounds, 148 by June 11th, and I should be able to get it. I still probably am holding on to some water because I'm telling you, those binges were really bad. They were really, really bad. Like I was straight up eating like probably like close to 10,000 calories, or my mouth was burning. It felt terrible. Like my abs were like almost completely gone.
But yeah, this is where I'm at. I'm gonna do another weigh-in, and yeah, seriously, like the carb cycling, like I just feel bigger, like, and just my performance. I'm still hungry. You still get hungry, but my performance is way better. I'm still losing weight. Yeah, it's just my midsection. It's just here. Like if I go kind of like that, you can kind of see progress. Yeah, it's just I have all this fat right here. You can see the muscle here. It's just all, it's so stubborn, bro. It's so stubborn. Now that like I know my big issue is just my mind and just conquering that and just accepting my faults, accepting my insecurities, accepting it, accepting everything, and not being so afraid and so preoccupied with what other people think, how I'm perceived in the world, my situation, my past. Because my head's just been in the past or the future. The past, it's never in the present. It can't be in the present. It can't visualize a good future. It's just like so attacking itself. But yeah, enough is enough. Just gonna keep going. Abs are there. Back to 155. Diet's improved. I feel way better. Much more manageable. My performance in the gym is going awesome. Yeah, just keep going.
I didn't want to jinx myself, but I finished 50K steps, 50,000 steps for June 1st. Just starting the month off strong with a win. Again, mid-May, I didn't do it. Like I came up short because I literally ran out of time. Like the clock struck midnight and my watch, my steps like reset, so I didn't do the 50 for a day. But this time I got it. I got 50,000. I'm just proud. Like, just goes to show how far I've come, you know, since losing the weight, since my big transformation. Where like I used to think 10,000 was a lot, and now I'm just doing this as a challenge. You know, doing this like I wasn't trying to, you know, like battle some demons or anything. It was just more so of a challenge. And like truth be told, like keeping it real, I wanted to do it yesterday, but I felt so nauseous. Like I felt really weak because of work, and I just didn't have it in me. And it was raining all day, and I was thinking, oh, it'll stop raining tomorrow. No, it rained all day. Like I'll show some clips. Bro, come on. All right, my feet are soaked. Let's go. I'm so tired. Like, I'm. Everything is just wet. I'm like warm, but I'm tired. The constant rain is just getting so tiring. I'm so sick of it. I'm. I'm just not in the mood anymore. Like I don't. Like this just sucks. This sucks. It just has not stopped raining the entire time, bro. Hasn't stopped raining. I'm almost there. I have, I think, 400 more steps in about 5 more minutes. I probably shouldn't even be filming. I'm just like, I'm getting it this time. I'm getting it this time. I'm getting 50 before the day ends. I hit a lot of big mental walls throughout the walk, like numerous times. Where I was just like, I don't want to do this. Like, are you, like, I was getting really angry. Especially at like 30, 35, 40,000 steps. Especially at 40,000. And I still had like 10,000 left. I was like, so tired. I really did not want to do it. Like I felt so angry. Like my mind really started freaking out. And it's like a thing I've realized over the last month is like the thing that makes me feel best is doing long endurance related challenges, like really long walks or really long something with that takes a long time, like 1,000 pull-ups, 500 pull-ups, like stuff like that takes a while, and you have to really push and go through mental walls to get to the goal. Just like doing something like when I did that 150-pound ruck doesn't do it for me. It's still good, but not as good as like something like super long endurance. It's just good to throw it every now and then. But yeah, man, I'm so happy. I did it. Like, and I was running. I was like, I'll be honest, like I was running, trying to just like get it before midnight because I stretched it out during my day. But yeah, I'm so happy. I just keep thinking about, you know, the version of myself that already has the goals. Like, I am bringing that energy to the present. Like, what is he thinking? Like, what is he acting? What is he really prioritizing? What is he really thinking about? What is he behaving like? What is he putting his mind towards, his attention towards? What is he really caring about? Like, and it's like a couple of days ago, like I've had this switch of like that energy, that version of myself is right now. It just like he entered my brain, and it goes to the thing of like owning the stuff I've been insecure about, admitting the owning the thing that's been I've been battling in my head, and that I've been too afraid to admit and to acknowledge my faults, my insecurities, especially present day. There's a thing with being able to talk about the stuff from the past because I've owned it, but what about the present, Especially right now, I just feel like I'm in such a rebuilding stage of my life. I've left so much behind. I've sacrificed a lot. I've faced so much stuff that I've been avoiding all my life. So if this is just really new, uncharted territory for me. And I'll be talking more about just putting it all out there, all my insecurities, everything I've been too afraid to admit to anybody, to everybody, except like just the people really close to me. But I'm just gonna admit it all in my next weigh-in, and when I do the recap of this episode, like just putting it all out there, everything that I've just been too scared to admit, too embarrassed, too ashamed, just do it. Because the version of myself that already has the goal, he's done it, he's owned it, he lives with it guilt-free, he's accepted his shortcomings, where he's at, and he just moves on, he moves forward. Like that energy is with me right now. This series is literally turning into like a documentary now. Like I bet you this episode will be like an hour long, and it's over the span of like about a month, which is kind of crazy. I've never really seen anything like this, so it's really interesting. Final weigh-in. Here we go. I weighed in at 155 pounds. I was also curious. I took a hot bath. Like that's what fighters do, and it was like 150 pounds. That is not my actual weight, but it is fun to like kind of play around with that, just to see like how much water you can lose, like how they do. But no, my actual weight's 155. So basically, haven't changed that much. I feel amazing though in terms of energy levels, everything. So yeah, basically same thing. Still the fat right here, right here. It's just all my midsection. It's still cool. I can see my abs. This is in the morning as well. So shower, no food in my system, completely relaxed. Still just that bit. It's still the same fucking thing. If I flex like this, my chest looks good. I just have all the fat there. You can see how the muscle would turn out. But yep, I just still got too much fat here. I still got too much fat. Arms are looking good though. This is me flexing. And from here, more flexing, pretty happy with my arm progress. And then with my abs, like I'm not flexing them, really relaxed, been working quite a bit on them. Okay, this is not the greatest angle, but see some bicep vein action. Again, like I've said, I have a wide waist, but it's just all like that's where I store all my fat. It's still pretty cool. You can still see my abs. Pretty good, pretty good. Maybe if I kind of flex like that, I look like an influencer. But yeah, it's just all this fat here, bro. It's so embarrassing. I just weighed in at 155. Also, my hair is getting out of control, bro. I gotta get a haircut. So this whole month, I've basically been maintaining my weight. Last episode, I ended at like 155, 154. I am still that weight. The difference here is I am eating way more carbs and just eating more in general. The big lesson from the last episode is I just went way too hard, where in hindsight, that could have worked if I had much more muscle mass. It was at starting at like 13, 14% body fat. Then I realized I don't have enough muscle mass, and I started at way too high of a body fat. Like I was probably like 17, 18. So yeah, that didn't really last. It was like a week. And again, I'm trying to be like a glass half full guy. Like at least I know I can push that hard when I'm so depleted in calories. I still did a 20K week with like 1500 calories. Like I felt like I was dying. But yeah, ever since then, what I've been doing is I've been carb cycling. So you just eat more carbs and increasing your calories overall on the days you train, on the days you really demand it. And I've been feeling way better. Since episode 4, I've still lost like 13 pounds, but now I'm just not rushing it. I'm not being desperate. It's just take it bit by bit and just keep my mind right and be down in like the 140s soon. My activity level is really high. And when your activity is really high with your steps, like in May, I averaged about 15K steps. You can eat more, especially when you're training heavy. But the way to really calculate your caloric deficit is based on your maintenance calories. And your maintenance calories you calculate based on your daily activity level. And the best way to do that is just to see how many steps you're taking a day. So if you're taking 10, 12, 14, 15, 16, 18K steps a day, you can afford to eat more food because your body needs it. So yeah, like my maintenance is like a little over 3,000, even though I'm still a lot low body weight. because my step count is so high. But yeah, the mistakes I've been doing as you've been watching this episode is my mind, lots of binges, just overeating, emotional eating, numbing my pain out. My training has been going amazing. I feel good. Like even oh, like my arms, I've been training my arms way heavier. Training's really fun again. Some bicep vein action. I feel really lean, but it's so crazy. Like I feel fat at this low body weight, even though my younger self, I mean, my older self would have been ecstatic, like, oh, you have abs and just how I look, my skin, everything. But no, it's still trying to push myself, till overcoming my mistakes and just seriously overcoming my mind. This is where I want to talk about now. I've struggled with just owning my mind, owning my situation, and I have for a long time. Always struggled with depression, anxiety, all that fun stuff. It just ruins my progress when I need to be consistent, so my weight can go like this. Instead, it'll just go like this because I'm overeating, I'm eating my emotions away, just binge eating, like making no progress. To continue owning my mind, become that 2.0 version of myself, because I've thought about like the Axel that's already successful, that's already achieved his goals. He's not worried about whatever's happening. He doesn't get in his head. He doesn't think about the past. He doesn't think about the present or the future. He doesn't get so caught up in his head. He doesn't get depressed, bouts of depression, all that. He's already achieved his goals. And that version of myself, one of the things he does that I, see in my head, he owns his stuff, just talks about it, and moves forward. Because if I don't, I'm just going to keep making the same mistakes when it comes to eating, and I'm never going to get the Brad Pitt lean physique or just keep pushing my leanness level. There were some times in May where I was like about to hit the 140s, but then maybe a couple days later, boom, binge, overeating, eating my emotions away, getting depressed, just getting in my head, like wanting to quit everything. And I just can't keep doing that. I don't want to keep doing that for the sake of myself, for the relationship that I want to end up in, for my future wife, my future kids, the type of example I want to leave behind. It's just not worth it. I just got to own my stuff. So I'm just going to go over more failures, shortcomings, just be really open. So I grew up in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I experienced a lot of racism, bullying, not the most fun experience. Ended up getting really big bouts of depression, lots of eating disorders, just trying to hide away, isolate myself. Didn't have a good experience with my family, parents specifically. And in high school, the group of friends I had, usually I lost all of them by grade 10. So grade 11 and 12, I spent really isolated and then got really depressed. Where I'm going to be really open. In grade 12, I basically had no friends. I was too scared to talk to anybody. I felt really judged all the time, really in my head. I would go to the library at lunch just to kind of spend time away. I mean, just to look like I was busy. And I would just hide and go cry in the washroom because I always felt sad every day. I didn't really get any help from my parents. And so I just felt really alone and depressed during that time, or even in my graduation. I didn't want to go. And it left a big impact where I just saw everyone happy and I just compared and I got really depressed. And the impact of that really was really big. And it really didn't help the relationship I had with Edmonton. For all of my life, I couldn't be in here. I couldn't be in Edmonton. I was anxious, depressed. I get really in my head. So when I moved to Calgary for film production, when I was like 19, I spent my time in Calgary from 19 to 25 in pursuing film. But the thing is, because I suppressed my trauma, I didn't really address it, didn't really work on it. Just had a lot of the same issues that I had mentally in Calgary. I brought that energy there. So it affected my relationships, the way I thought about myself, my depression, anxiety, eating disorders, which then led to kind of reaching this pinnacle, this peak of depression and feeling terrible in that relationship where I got to 210 pounds. I failed her, I failed myself, and it still left a big impact where, not really about her, just how bad I got physically, mentally, just I was like ready to just like leave the earth. And so it kind of was a big wake up call. I decided in 2024, when that happened in 2024, I stayed in Calgary and still worked in film. But then I experienced a big car crash in November 2024, which just further confused me about myself. Felt like I was cursed. Like the depression was still there, bro. My trauma was still there. And even when I got an apartment at a really nice place with a cool guy, a roommate, I still felt empty. I'm like, what am I doing here? What am I working towards? My life identity felt fake. It felt phony. I wasn't clicking with people. It's not what I wanted in my life. So I decided to just finally face my trauma in Edmonton, so that just doesn't happen again, like what happened with that relationship, but also just my daily life. I can't keep having this energy and the stuff that happened in Edmonton to continue ruling me, crushing me, and affecting me so heavy. I have to face it. I have to close this chapter. And I've struggled talking about it with anybody because I felt like a freak. I felt really misunderstood pursuing this. So I moved back in with my parents. And I didn't have to. I could have really continued my life in Calgary, that identity, my stuff in film production, but I didn't. It felt more important to be facing this, and I've been doing it alone. I don't have any friends in Edmonton, especially from high school. I have nothing. So I try to make friends in run clubs every now and then, and I met good people, but I felt so phony. I wasn't been able to admit what I'm doing here and just my situation and my decisions of just moving back here and the stuff I struggle with. And the last year since I've been here, I really still struggle. There's been bouts where I've struggled with depression and anxiety, and it's more so depression. Just thinking about the past and the future, and just being confused about my overall life decisions. I've spent so much time and effort in film, and now that that's not part of me, it's like, what? Like, was that all worth it? Just normal overthinking stuff. So that's been stuff hard to admit to anybody except, like my family or someone close to me, like my best friend. And yeah, I think I've come to a place I can own it with myself now that I can just talk about it super openly. And it felt really freeing. I even did it on my I even did it on my Instagram, just like say it, everything that's I've been struggling with mentally, just say it out loud, especially all the embarrassing stuff with my relationship, especially that time. The stuff I felt really embarrassed to talk about. We ended up house sitting because I wanted to leave the basement apartment that we were living in, and because I just need to get out of there. And she kind of had to take a whole control of the relationship because I was just failing it, bro. Like I was just a wreck. And I felt really embarrassed when we were doing that. I felt like a failure as a partner, as a provider, as a boyfriend. I felt embarrassed to be her boyfriend, like as in not because of her, just because of like, oh, she hates me, all this, all this. I could just never snap out of it and take action, start working, and get better because that trauma was just so bad, and my depression was just so severe. So, and it's been hard to admit that yeah, that's what happened, and it's felt like a big failure, and it's left such a big impact where I can date, but like in terms of a serious relationship, I promised myself I would never get in one until I can financially provide fully for her, for them. And I have full control of my mind. I have full control of my body. Like I can get lean. I have full control of that. They coincide. And I have just more freedom in my life, right? And I've been getting there with just continuing owning my mind, continuing to remove myself from the identity that I was in 2024, just my entire life, to doing this now. Just completely doing stuff that old identity could never ever do. Talk on camera, present myself, content creation, fitness, like believe in myself, bro. I thought so lowly of myself. That version could never do this, right? Yeah, even straight up, I even invested into a big mentorship that's really good. I actually really think it's really good, and I had a lot. I took a lot out of it, but over the last month, straight up, like I haven't been utilizing it, and I felt super guilty about it because I've been super in my head about the depression, about the past, my PTSD attacks. I was just getting really in my head in May, and it really affected my progress. Like I didn't lose any weight from the last episode. I'm at the same weight. Obviously, I'm healthier and like I just have more energy and I feel way better, more muscle mass, like more strength. Not maybe nothing, but I just feel cool. But just no progress. And even with that mentorship, I don't know if he'll watch this. The guy who's coached me and I talked to, like, yeah, bro, I haven't been utilizing it well. I've just been way too in my head, especially with my past. And maybe if you watch the stuff, I don't know. But I felt embarrassed to talk about that. I invested quite a bit into it, and I obviously did it just because the Axel. Because I remember even back then, this was in January. The Axel 2.0 would have done this, right? That's where my head's been at. Like the Axel, what did he be doing? 2.0, what did he be doing? What did he do? And I've been working, working, working. This next step, owning my mind, owning my embarrassments, owning my guilt, owning my shames, owning my failures. Like, yeah, I ruined that relationship. Yeah, I was not in the great headspace. Yeah, I've had eating disorders. Yeah, I moved back in with my parents who've just faced this trauma. And I think it's important to talk about. I am like men suppress their stuff. I see it all the time. I know where it leads. I don't want to keep doing that, man. And I don't know where it's headed, but I know that Axel, where he is right now, he'd be owning his stuff. He'd be in complete power, complete, always wanting to improve, just keep pushing the boundary. The last week, I did a bunch of 50K steps. My step count has been so high on average. The old versions could have never believed that, and I just want to keep pushing it more and more. Pushing my body and pushing my mind. Episode 6 is basically just owning my stuff, admitting it. Now for the next step, just really step into the shoes of Axel, who's already achieved all his goals when it comes to online income, coaching, fitness, business goals, his body, reaching 10%. But I have to be consistent. I can't keep battling with these bouts of depression and, my mind going all over the place. I don't want to keep living like that. And again, for the sake of my future relationship, my future wife, my future kids, the example I want to leave to my nephew and niece, my family, my other family members. Like, hey, yeah, Axel went from that to this. Like, from this bouts of depression, being confused about life, all this time in film, that identity. I wanted to be like a director and editor, bro. I wanted to be in film. I wanted to be in production, to being an entrepreneur, helping people, being super knowledgeable, pushing himself more and more, always testing himself. Every new year, he pushes the limit. So yeah, episode 7 out within a week and a half or two, like no more a month. The series is more of a documentary now. Weekly episodes, bro. Like Truett Haynes does weekly episodes. I can't keep doing the whole month, bro. And it's just because like I just keep messing up with my diet because I keep binging because I'm eating my emotions away. Like enough is enough. Just stepping into the person, the individual that has already achieved it. I am that version. Move forward with that mentality. So that's episode 6.